Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing okay, all things considered. How are you doing?
You know what? All things considered, can't complain. I followed your advice. I'm having this mineral water you showed me a couple months ago. The Topo Chico, is that how you say it?
Oh yeah, which flavor are you going with?
I mean, just regular carbonated mineral water.
Honestly, it's the best. That's my favorite one. I get the big bottle sometimes. I mean, I haven't since the isolation began, but it's definitely something I'm craving.
Yeah, we got this from Aldi. Is that like the usual place to get it from?
I get it at the Foxtrot near my house.
Oh, okay.
They sell like a 4 pack for $6, or then they send the big bottle for like $3. So,
Nice.
but I try to avoid going out as much as possible right now, obviously, unless I'm like doing my bi-weekly grocery run or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, overall, how have you been adjusting to this new normal we're in right
Uh,
now?
I mean, it is strange, and it comes and it goes. You know, when it first started, uh, I worked for the first 2 weeks at Starbucks when this was first like starting up, and then they gave us the option to step away. That they were gonna to pay us to step away, which I took up, and I go through on and off productivity or not. I'm trying to like I do puzzles. I've been teaching myself photo editing techniques, but
Mm,
and like I took a class online, but sometimes I'm not productive, and I think that's okay.
yeah.
Um, I'm going back to work in May, where all most of the Starbucks in our district are opening back up again. So I'm going to start serving coffee again, which I'm a little bit nervous for.
Mm.
But yeah, it just feels weird. You know, how about yourself? How's work?
It's a little scary, and I'm very curious to see how people behave the further we go down the shutdown. I think for right now they've been fine, but if like another extension into like July happens, I bet I'm gonna probably see the worst in people, which I'm a little afraid of.
Yeah, well, it's the nice weather thing, you know. Right
Yeah.
now, it's easy for people to stay inside because it's not pleasant
Mhm.
outside. But once you know, that 170-degree day we had a few weeks back, everyone was outside, and people don't know how to social distance while taking walks.
Yeah.
You know, they like when I take a walk, I'm very cautious of everyone around me. I have my mask on, and if I see someone coming near me, I move 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people, they'll like crowd the walkway, or there'll be runners that will just run right next to you, and I get it because they're also doing their thing, but we all have to look out for each other. I mean,
Mhm.
this is the biggest like humans helping humans kind of motion that we've ever had, uh, and not everyone is up to the challenge.
No, and if they are, they're thinking more about themselves than everyone else, which is the problem I think we're facing now. It's now becoming it's not a us, it's now just a I or my family or my people only, which isn't what we're trying to go for, I think.
Right. Well, it's also like a weird metaphor thing. Defensive driving is important, but in order to be, too defensive of a driver, if you're just thinking about yourself, then you're not paying attention to the other cars,
Mhm.
and then you're going to slow it up. So it's similar to this. Like, if you're not paying attention to the other people around you, or if you're not thinking about the other people around you, then this isn't going to be fixed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I've settled in okay. I mean, I'm looking around my room, and it's kind of messy, but it's because I've been doing all these weird photo series and TikToks involving my clothes because I have no other place to wear them.
I will say you were probably the most fashionable person during a pandemic. So that my hats off to you for still looking mighty fine during this time.
So I mean, you only see what I post. Half the time I'm in sweatpants and a sweatshirt too, but that's not what I'm going to put on my Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
You know what? Like this is like for me. I have probably only wore sweats or just a t-shirt, probably just in rehearsals or for classes. Now that I'm wearing my pajama pants or my sweats 2 days in a row, whoa. It's very new and I'm trying to adjust to it. And then like
Yeah.
we had Easter last week, and I put on a suit because I was like, you know what, screw this. It's a holiday, and I want to look nice.
Yeah, sometimes it's important just to put a little effort. You know, like when I get up in the morning, I try to put on some nice clothes. I mean, I not nice clothes, but I try to put on a pair of jeans. I try to put on a button down before I go down for breakfast. I'm trying to find some type of scheduling for activities. Like, you know, I eat breakfast and I work on this puzzle I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And then I go upstairs and I watch an episode of television while I'm apartment searching right now. So mm-hmm. I do that. You know, like I'm trying to form a schedule, but I know that's all going to change once I go back to work.
Yeah. And you said you were nervous. I don't know what. Catch me up on Starbucks. So I'm going to still assume you guys are still doing drive-thrus and people coming in and out, and that's it, correct?
Yeah, kind of. So drive-thrus, yes. My store's not a drive-thru,
okay.
But we're not allowing customers in the store itself. It looks like what we're going to be doing, and I don't know this officially because I haven't started yet,
yeah.
But everyone's going to have a certain position that they stay in at all times, and then customers will mobile order only, I believe, mm-hmm. and we'll have like a table outside of our door. A customer will stand 6 feet away, we'll open the door, put their order on the table, we'll close the door, then they'll come up, pick up the order, and go.
Okay.
So it seems like we're really streamlining the process, and we're trying to cut back on any contacts at all, like even between partners, like everyone's going to be as far apart, like partners is what we call like different Starbucks employees.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to be spread out as much as possible. I mean, it's going to be hard because it's like, I mean, it's small behind a bar, but they're scheduling us part-time, but paying us our regular average that we would normally get paid. No, so even if I get like 2 shifts a week at first, they're matching our pay to what it would be if we were normally working.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, my manager and I can't speak for the whole company because I'm sure there's some managers that are messing it up, but my manager is really handling this well. And I've been with the company like 5 years, and I've thought about leaving so many times, and this kind of situation makes me glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I know there are so many artists whose shows got canceled just like mine, and unlike me, didn't have that kind of like financial backup that a job that's paying me to play video games and drink coffee, you know?
Yeah. And I agree. I work at a Walgreens for about 3 years now, and I think maybe once a month have wanted to quit or put in my 2 weeks. I've gotten very close many times, and during this time, it's a nice little reflection of, you know, I should be glad that I can still go to work, and and have an excuse to actually leave my house.
Right. Are you with your family out in the suburbs, or are you in the city?
I'm back in the suburbs.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure that's really hard to, like, I mean, it's lovely, I'm sure, to be around your pups, but I'm sure it's hard because everyone is going out and working, so it's really hard to, like, track the safety of everyone at the same time.
Well, today, for example, I get called into my manager's office, and she goes, I need you to sit down, and I'm like, oh, great, what did I do? And she goes, I need you to know this right now. Someone in the store, an employee, might have COVID. And
Jesus.
And she said the last time he was here was Wednesday and Thursday. We checked the tapes, and you, out of the many people, were in contact with this person the least. So you are the least likely to get affected by this. And so she was like, we just want to let you know this. Keep doing what you're doing, but be aware this person is not going to be in the store for the presumed future until we know what's going on with them. So that was a little scare for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really scary. I'm glad that you're informed, you know how to move forward, but it's also kind of like a powerless thing, you know, and we're both lucky to have our health and to be working and sustainable, but it's also scary that with this thing, there's really not a lot we can do besides what the healthcare officials tell us to do. Washing our hands as much as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and the face masks really do make a difference.
Yeah. Have you been designing your own face mask?
Well, actually, I was given a face mask by a person that I'm talking to right now.
Okay.
She sanitized it before she gave it to me, but she's a stylist,
That's
and
awesome.
she sewed one out of an old sheet and made sure it was protected and stuff. But it's really cool. My brother, he's a nurse practitioner in San Francisco. They're going through masks really quickly. And so an old family friend sent him like 40 different masks that she designed and made. And with little peanut characters on it and old fabric that have, and it's really sweet to see how these communities are kind of coming together to support each other.
Yeah.
This woman who probably hasn't seen my brother in probably 5 years, she sent wanting to support my brother in that. That's really sweet.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, no, my mask, it's purple, it's functional. I do have to shave, which is what the CDC recommends because it's scratchy, but that's something that I'm willing to do to keep everyone safe.
Yeah. I have a really bad 5 o'clock shadow right now. It's like, well, after this we gotta go straight to trimming it down, just because I don't want to get myself affected or get others affected. Plus, like you said, it itches like hell. Can I say, to have a mask?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not fun, especially with the neck beard. I had a neck beard with my full beard a couple days ago, and it was bad. It was like it was rubbing against my skin and leaving some marks.
That's rough. So speaking of not fun, how have you found socializing during this time? Not to turn questions on you, but that's what I'm doing. I'm taking over.
I appreciate it. It was at first very hard. When this thing happened so rapidly, I was going to go see your show, and I wanted to, and then I just couldn't risk it because and that hurts, and that hurted me for a while, to not see your show or not see other people. And then I fell into this very weird mood because Columbia, they pushed back their classes a couple weeks. So for like 2 weeks, we didn't have any classes. So it was just me. And, I would text people here and there. And then I was like, you know what? If I'm going to talk to people, I got to find a way to do it and make them willing to want to do it with me. And that's kind of where the podcast came from. And I get excited because when I talk to people about this situation, it makes me feel that I'm not alone. And that's kind of what made me not want to talk to people at first, because I thought they're probably handling it much better than I am. And talking to them through the show has helped me a lot, knowing that I'm not alone and I can talk to people about what I'm feeling.
Right.
And then and then having other things to do. Like I do a YouTube channel with some friends, and we just play Kahoot quizzes and Jackbox, and it's just us at like midnight fucking around for a couple hours and just having fun. And that hurts too, because as much fun as I'm having, I think, well, this would be a whole lot better if we were all in person. And then it makes me look forward to whenever this is over, that I can see my friends in person again, as opposed to Zoom.
For sure. Zoom is definitely not as there's not that personal touch. I appreciate you mentioning my show. Canceling it was the right thing to do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
for this young theater company, I'll shout them out, Theater L'Acadie. They're great. These 3 young women from Louisiana founded this theater company. This was their final show of their season,
Mm-hmm.
and they got to have one weekend of it. And the reviews really warmed my heart, and also talked about how timely the show was, because it was a show about the importance of trying to create theater when there's no hope left. And at the beginning of this, was like in an empty theater when not a lot of people were coming, which is right. They had the right idea by not coming. But I'm glad we got to share it with who we got to share it with, and they filmed it. So I'm hoping that they'll shared out. I mean, that team is amazing, and I do recommend if you ever see an audition posting or anything like that to audition, because they are such warm theater creators. We did 2 weeks of table work, which I've never done before in a professional setting. And, this is a new theater, so they're that storefront Chicago model where they don't pay you as like a living wage, but they paid us better than a lot of other storefronts that I've done, and they gave me a chance to play a role like I don't think I'd ever like. Tennessee Williams gets produced sometimes, but the 2 character play by Tennessee Williams, never.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's odd, and I feel like the socialization comes in waves for me, at least. I have some friends that I'm pretty consistently texting, and then others that like I'll check in every week or so, just to say, hey, what's up, And some checking with friends from high school that I haven't talked to in such a long time, because this time kind of allows us to slow down, especially those of us in 9-to-5 jobs. Yeah, it's weird, and dating life obviously strange over like it feels like a long distance in the same city kind of situation.
Oh, for sure. And it's like, for my sake, the people, and like you said, like going back to reflecting on yourself, I ran into my old high school science teacher today at work. She just came in, and we just chatted about what an awkward student I was freshman year of high school. And it was, I will say this on air, I don't care. A week before our final in the spring, I wrote her a letter apologizing for my behavior. I wasn't a bad student. I was just a very awkward student. And I signed it as, I'm going to probably get this right, her second tallest, but her third favorite male student.
Oh, so you definitely knew where you were in the ranking. Do you think that you were right by that assumption?
I think it's changed. I think I've done better. But at that time, oh yeah. That was probably what I was paying attention to in class. But she's a great teacher, and I think she's done great now in life. So it's weird to kind of catch up to people you don't expect during a pandemic, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm very curious, as we dive deeper in this pandemic, it feels like some things are going to start opening back up again. And I wouldn't be surprised that pretty soon we enter another new normal where a lot more things are going to be reopening with some new conditions. Are you in a place where you feel ready to go out and see people, or are you going to take more precaution, you think?
I'm going to continue with precaution. I think that it's a mistake to sacrifice health for economic growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's why a lot of places are opening up, especially in like other states that we've seen, is that the governments are afraid of economic failure. And I get that. I completely understand that. Mm-hmm. But I gotta go with the health officials and not with the I miss drinking at restaurants. I miss my friends. But I'm going to probably listen to Pritzker when it comes to like staying out of large gatherings for, the entire summer, And sure, that's rough because, I have a summer birthday. I love a good summer party, but I'm going to limit interactions. I mean, I'm sure as things open up, maybe I'll hang out with individuals on an individual basis that I trust and know where they've been, right? But I don't think there's any reason to try to really force jumping back into normalcy. I think that it's better, even though it's hard because, of course, I miss these things. Mm-hmm. It's better to be cautious because we want this to wrap up or at least slow down quicker. Mm-hmm. So I think the more that we add these things, the longer this is going to actually take to figure out and to slow down.
Yeah, and it's like I'm willing to risk a summer for the sake of the rest of my life. Is what I think
Yeah,
people should realize more. It's just a summer. It's gonna come back. You're gonna probably have some nice warm weather.
yeah, and like there are ways to interact with people, even in person, that I feel safe with. You know, taking walks where I'm 6 feet apart from my friends, I'm okay with. 6 feet, 7 feet, where we're talking, we're spending time together. We're just not holding hands or high fiving or anything like that. And yes, it's. I just think that it's a mistake to open up as quickly as some of these places are, because it's appearing. They're just trying to put on the appearance that everything's okay when it's not,
Yeah,
and it's okay not to be okay.
and it's okay to take their time. Is what I'm realizing. And as much as it sucks to know that we're in month 2, about to go into month 3 of a pandemic, and it feels like I haven't done anything, and it feels like nothing's accomplished. Everything's going to be fine. It just takes time, and I think that's kind of like life. And when you're doing a project or you're doing a job, everything takes time.
There's still ways to be productive. There's different ways to use this time, and it's okay not to do a lot in the sense that it's understandable for your body to be in shock. It's understandable for you to be in it, if depression is part of your life, for this to trigger a depression episode, because this is strange, and it's okay to acknowledge that it's strange. But there are some things that are changing, some things that you can still work on. Like, my agent has been very good at sending me audition things that I can do at home.
Mm.
So I've still been sending in probably once a week an audition tape. I sent one in earlier today for a medical thing.
Mm.
I've been doing photo projects and TikToks. I mentioned those earlier, not only because they're fun, but because they keep the creative side of my brain active.
Mm.
I'm like, right now, before you called, I'm taking a photo that I took of myself and trying to cartoonize it, and not using one of those apps, but using like an actual photo editor to do it myself, because it's something tactile, it's something creative, and even though it's not, like, in some people's minds not productive, but in my mind it is it's a productive thing, because it's something that I can see the finished product at the end.
Yeah.
And I beat a video game, and as someone who didn't grow up with video games, that's an accomplishment for me that I'm going to celebrate. Because I honestly sucked. I sucked at video games. I never got the hand-eye coordination of pressing buttons. So once I master one, I feel good.
Yeah. What was this video game?
I beat Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I downloaded Red Dead. My friend Kate, they had an extra Xbox that they were going to sell, but instead they let me borrow it for the pandemic, which has been a lifesaver, because I've never owned a video game console.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me their Red Dead Redemption 2. I played it, then I downloaded Red Dead Redemption, which was a setback, not in storyline, but just because it was made like 7 years earlier. The graphics hurt my brain. But yeah, no, I that's a level of productivity. Or a podcast. I read all of Harry Potter again. That's what I turn to when I can tell my anxiety is going to act up, and that is kind of like my comfort food, my ice cream.
And I'm trying new things. Like, even though I live with my family, I'm trying to hang out with them. I have a brother who's an athlete, and we're doing sports. I suck at sports. I can't play basketball to save my life. Am I doing it? And am I getting my ass whooped all the time? Yes.
Good.
Yeah. I am. As it turns out, I'm really competitive in that too. And then like you said, I'm playing video games a lot more too. We have an Xbox, and I'm learning how to play an Xbox. I just
What are
never.
you playing?
I'm playing NBA 2K.
Ooh, I've heard very good things, honestly. I mean, I don't understand basketball that much, but I've heard very good things about that game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we have a Wii, and we've had a Wii for a while, and we're playing a lot of Wii sports. You ever heard of a Kahoot quiz?
A Kahoot quiz?
Yes.
No.
So it's an education website where quizzes are made, but for fun purposes, you can make a quiz. And what the family has been doing is been making each family member is making a quiz about themselves that others have to answer. So
Oh, that's cute.
yeah, it's actually a lot of fun, and everyone like actually really tries and comes up with like hard questions for everyone. And then they all get very mad when it's like, no, this is the right answer, and it's like, no, 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 I came up with it, and this is my life. And so it's a lot. That's been a lot of fun to realize, like, oh, this is something that I didn't know exists, and it's a lot of fun, and everyone is enjoying themselves. So you just gotta stay creative with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're finding some things to do, and also like it's nice to bond with your family. I'm sure.
Yeah. What's how's your family doing?
They're fine. Everyone is healthy. I'll run down the list. As you know, I have a pretty large family, but I mean, my parents they're on the farm and they're staying away from society, which is great. I think the people that have it the hardest are probably either my brother, who's he's a nurse practitioner in the emergency room in San Francisco, so he's on the front line. Mm-hmm. I was checking in with him today. It's pretty slow in the ER, I guess, because people aren't like getting hurt out and about. But they're staying safe. And then my sister, she's raising 2 kids. Her son had to be, they canceled school, so her husband had to step away from work to raise their 2 kids while she still works from home. But everyone else is like my other brother and sister. They're safe and living with their partners and just enjoying life. Everyone's been very good at checking in with me because I'm the only one who's kind of alone. Mm-hmm. Everyone else has a partner to go through this with, and I don't, which has moments of being emotionally draining. Mm-hmm. So I feel very supported, which is nice. And look, I don't think this is making us closer in the sense that everyone's all across the United States, but it's still really nice to be thought of and cared for.
Yeah. Daniel, I can't think of another friend I want to talk to right now during a pandemic. So thank you for coming on the show and taking some time. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Well, goodness, thank you for thinking of me. It means a lot, and I can't wait to see you when this all is done. I think I owe you a shirt.
I owe you $10.
Sounds good.
Hey everyone. Thanks again for listening to this episode of You Have a Minute, a daily isolated podcast. My thanks to Daniel Westheimer for coming on the show. As you heard, Daniel and I hung out a lot during last winter because we did It's a Wonderful Life together. And he was like a big brother to me. Really was. He was just fun to talk to, fun to listen to, an amazing actor, and he has a great perspective on life, which I think is wonderful, and a new perspective for me to follow and be inspired by. So thank you, Daniel, for being you. So tomorrow will be the last regular episode before we head into the education week. And then tomorrow I will also reveal the first half of the lineup for our week. And boy, oh boy, we have some great things in store. So I can't wait. Wash your hands, wear a mask, stay inside when needed. Don't go out as much. Stay isolated. Have a Zoom meeting. Have a Kahoot quiz. Call someone. Shout out Joel Bennett. I love you, buddy. Stay strong. You're in my heart forever and always. And I'll talk to you guys later.